Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Lintheo, coming at you with a discussion today about a card that everyone has been talking about. And while you might say I am late to the party, you know what I like to do? I like to let hype settle a little bit about most cards and then talk about them once everyone has spouted about it, forgotten about it, so I can do an actual proper discussion. So the card is Pot of Cupidity. It is the new version of Pot of Greed and Pot of Avarice, because they're featured on the artwork, but they have nothing really to do with Pot of Avarice. It's more Pot of Greed. So it's very simply a normal spell card, and its effect is banish 10 cards from the top of your deck face down. Draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 Pot of Cupidity per turn. Very simple effect. Banish 10 cards from the top of your deck, draw 2. You are deck thinning by 12. That is pretty ridiculous. However, there's a really obviously glaringly big downside to this card, but I think people need to realize how bad it could possibly be. Now, first off, the card is one of those cards that I don't think should be splashed in any deck unless your deck doesn't need combo pieces. Any deck that requires combo pieces to function, this card is flaming awful. Why? Because you are banishing 10 random cards from the top of your deck, and they could be the combo pieces that you need to keep your deck functioning. If you hit those combo pieces, then you are screwed. If, for example, we put this in a Cosmo deck, banish 10 cards. I've just banished all of my ships and my tin cans. Now, there are a couple of cards in the game right now that could really be able to abuse this card. One of them is Necroface. The other one is Soul Absorption. It must be nice to banish 10 cards, gain 5k, and also draw 2 cards, but who's really gonna do that? Other ones are like the Golden Homunculus, the other cards that gain attack from banished cards. All useful cards. But when was the last time you saw them played? When was the last time you saw Necroface played? It was a long time ago, and that's why it went to 1. But it's not really that useful anymore, because the fact you're banishing cards face down means that it's very difficult to interact with them apart from just shuffling them back in. If they were banished face up, this card would be inherently ridiculous, because it gives you the knowledge as a player to be able to use things like, if it was in a Cosmo deck, you could pay the life points of Cosmo Town and bring them back to your hand. That would be ridiculous. But because they are face down, it adds a big block of player interaction with this card. Is drawing 2 cards worth banishing 10 random cards from your deck? If you haven't touched your deck, that is a quarter of your deck. Is it worth it? Personally, no. Maybe I'm just slightly biased in the fact that I play a lot of combo decks, so I need a lot of cards in my deck to be able to function. If I lose a quarter of my deck due to this card, I'm probably going to be getting rid of a lot of good cards. I like what they're doing, and it's an interesting card if people want to test it. I am sure people will be testing this card, and I am sure this card will be a secret rare, but do I think it's going to live up to the hype? Probably not. So I want to know what you guys think of Pot of Cupidity. Do you think it is a really good card, or do you just think it's not that great and it's kind of overhyped? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.